Hello and welcome to part 2 out of 2 from our Supreme Commander Forged Alliance Forever dual cast replay review. The link to part 1 is in the description. Enjoy!
Also, as I can see, SpeedyGonzales from the opponent team with 300 income, that is insane.
Oh yeah, actually, like his income is double as good as the income of the best competitor. So, like, I think SpeedyGonzales is going to win this game, and he would probably have to mess up really hard to lose this somehow.
Yes, 280 income, you can be spamming Monkey Lords, like, not even Monkey Lords, you could be spamming Megalites with this amount of mass.
So let's check his view and see if he's actually using this eco for anything so far.
Yeah, I don't think so, but he got 7000 mass in storage right now, but he's building a Monkey Lord with only one T3 NG. No, you need to have more assist on that.
Oh yeah, like at this point there are so many pink engineers under that Monkey Lord. Could ask to transfer them and use them if all willpower is actually being used. I can't see his idle engineers panel because of some UI issue in the replay, but that this Monkey Lord isn't supported is really a mistake.
Yeah, he actually uses his NGs, he only has 5 AFK NGs. It's acceptable. But he needs more T3 NGs. At least from one factory he should be producing NGs.
For me, the T2 air factory finished now, and the engineers are still surrounding it. They could just move down.
They are AFK right now, yes.
Yeah.
They should be assisting Monkey Lord, for
like
sure.
The mass SpeedyGonzales has in the bank is already half a spider. And
yeah, I think he over-ecoed a little bit. He should have made Monkey Lord when he had like 150 income maybe, and he would win the game easily. He doesn't need to wait this long to use his eco, unless he's an eco whore. But we should go probably back to McNeil. He's actually moving back with his commander right now, shielded commander, so I would expect of him to make res right now. Res is more efficient, even mass wise, than T3 max, so if you have this shielded ACU, definitely convert it to res. On the left side you can see that blue units are pushing, so there will be no more reclaiming. But it's only TT units still. Some Percies are making the field right now, but the Harpies should be actually raiding. They shouldn't be AFK. If you have so many Harpies, you invested a lot of eco into those, you should be using them.
Yeah, 8 Harpies, that's definitely more than a T3 max. That's 1.5 T3 maxes he put into Harpies there. And not using them is of course problematic. But let's also not miss out on the attack on Bullydozer on the bottom right. There are some loyalists trying to hit him, and they're actually stunning him. Shield is offline. Mercies are now connecting, and he's on 7000 HP. That's still a lot, but considering there are bricks in the field, that's relatively low.
Yeah, that was actually pretty close.
There are still 2 Mercies, but they got shot down by Flak.
Yes, those wouldn't probably kill him anyway, but still pretty close.
Yeah, pretty close. He would probably be on like 3000 HP or so. That's something a few Corsairs could finish off.
Yeah.
But now
maybe
it's too
one
late.
thing I would like to mention is when you have 4 T3 maxes, you should already have your T3 P-Gen up. Usually when you have 2 T3 maxes, you should have a T3 P-Gen, else you won't be able to use your mass.
Oh, that's like your benchmark, Kido?
Well, it sort of is, you know. What I do is that I just wait for my teammates to overflow, but if it's 1v1, sure.
Yeah, I was about to say, Empire clan members building power generators? That doesn't sound right.
Yeah. You know me too well.
Yeah, I do.
I see a T2 transport now from him. That is amazing. So seems like a very late Harby drops, but Harby drops nonetheless. So
minute 25. That's
I would expect a GC at minute 25, not Harby drop, but oh well. He could at least drop the plateau which blue has with T3 maxes there. Could be a pretty nice drop.
Oh, speaking of plateaus, check out the TML
oh
that is hitting.
No!
Yeah.
Oh, that's horrible. He has no TMD there. T3 maxes and no TMD. That's a sin, and he's going to pay for it.
That's not just a sin. That's I have no words for
I
it.
think he learned his lesson.
Oh, I wouldn't be so sure.
But here's a monkey lord moving on the left side. I'm actually still surprised what is SpeedyGonzales doing. He's not winning the game, but he should be with 300 mass income. Oh, he has so much mass in storage. That's not good. He needs to use his mass.
Oh yeah, he has 22 mass in storage. There is one monkey lord for him though. It's going to the right side. So we saw earlier that Bullydozer has a gun and shield ACU. Well, if the monkey lord attacks this ACU directly and there are a couple of Percivals and Pyre shields around it, then this monkey lord is just going to get overcharged to death. So attacking the right side is probably the best way of wasting a monkey lord, and that's really a shame. So with this eco, you could have at least 3 monkey lords by now.
Actually, he still have some bricks on the right side. If he push with the monkey lord and the bricks, I think he should be able to move through. But then there's the problem on the left side, that opponent monkey lord is killing everything. So let's see how this goes. But
I don't really believe it that this attack can work out with the bricks and the monkey lord. Like, I think that the Percivals and the Pyre shields are stronger than the bricks, and the gun and shield ACU is about as strong as the monkey lord. And since the fight is going to happen in Red's terrain, Red is going to get all the reclaim from it. So this is probably not good to move it there.
Yeah, there's nine Percies on the right side.
Oh wait, don't miss the strap bombers. See the yellow strap
bombers?
bombers?
Oh yes, I see them.
Well...
Oh, don't tell me he's going to die to strats.
Well, it's Aeon strats. Okay.
Yeah, they're gonna miss, but there's
one
also
connected.
Cybran strats on the behind.
Oh, I see them, yes.
Stealth is turned off for some reason.
Why?
I guess saving energy. No, just don't save energy right now, please.
Well, I guess since the air player was AFK and operating with the air in the right side, even though there was nothing, I guess,
Yep, there he goes.
yeah. And the monkey lord is connecting with the base of blue. Let's check out blue setup.
He has T3 shield, which is really powerful, but there's also Harbies in support, and only 4 T3 PDs. No, this is not gonna die. The monkey is gonna kill everything.
It's going to vet up. And take a look at the eco blue has. So, like blue and teal together, they had 50,000 mass in the bank.
Oh wow.
And with that, they could have made 3 spiders. And they saw that spider coming from a mile away. You could tell by the long range weapon, and the laser was visible at some points. And they just didn't coordinate the construction of an experimental or several experimentals to kill that spider.
They could have done a megalith as well. I mean, they have the mass for it, they have the energy for it.
Yeah, they had the mass for it, a megalith and a spider, or perhaps even 2 megaliths. So...
Yeah, this is actually their fault. They lost. They over-ecoed, hugely over-ecoed, and actually it's not just about over-ecoing, they also didn't use their mass.
Yeah, I don't think over-ecoing really exists. As long as you use that eco, you can really make it count, but like it was not used. So this is pretty horrible actually.
Also, SpeedyGonzales is building strats now, but there's ASF, so that's not worth it. McNeil has queued up a GC. He has the eco for it now. Still a lot of unclaimed reclaim. You should be constantly pressing Ctrl Shift and seek the reclaim. You have factory there idling on the top, which should be producing NGs, and also building T1 maxes at this stage of game. I would rather get the reclaim actually. Well, both obviously, but the reclaim has the priority here. If you are constructing a GC, the one T1 max is not going to change anything.
So
let's see.
Dark Green started, like, completed a nuke. I think that's pretty much all his eco that is going into that nuke, right? Yeah, so
Yes.
yeah, he's power stalling with the nuke, and he still hasn't managed to rebuild and secure the plateau with a TMD.
And unshielded nuke, please don't do this to me. That's not good. It has 4000 health. Even a sneeze kills it.
That's the second sin we see this game. And the ACU,
Yes, it's
the
a
ACU
second sin.
is so close to the nuke. Like, just imagine somebody sets 2 strats and ground fires the space
Oh, no.
between the ACU and the nuke.
That would be
That's-
horrible.
That would be the most avoidable death 2017.
Also, McNeil, shielded ACU, no, you need ARS right now actually.
Yeah, that's back to the topic we discussed before. When you want to go for a tech and gun ACU, then you have to decide between the two, because there is no synergy. So some factions like UEF and Seraphim, they can equip tech and gun at the same time, but even though they can equip them at the same time, you have to keep in mind that they can never shoot with the gun and still construct at the same time. So even those hybrid factions that combine both cannot use both at the same time, which is why it makes sense to decide between the two. And that's why you see UEF players going nano and gun instead of tech and gun. And that's also why you sometimes see the second Seraphim gun now. So this upgrade has been super unpopular, but you see it sometimes now.
Yeah, T3 gunship's now killing Pink in the middle.
Yeah, I saw that. I guess Pink was just on a vacation there.
Chilling, building T2 anti-air. Nope, not gonna help you.
Yeah, so back to this tech and gun topic, you should pretty much always go for either the complete combat path or the complete tech path, and only in very few exceptions you would merge these two paths together and get tech and gun at the same time. So for very late game UEF, this is an option. For late game Seraphim, this is an option. But in the early and mid game, you would never mix a combat and a tech ACU, because you can only use one of the two efficiently. And like having a shield ACU with tech at the back of the base is bad, because if it's at the back of the base, it's not going to get killed, which is why you should have RAS in that slot. And if you have a tech ACU with a shield and one of the guns at the front, then this is also going to be bad, because you lack the combat performance the second gun would add. So please decide between the two and don't mix.
I absolutely agree with you. And also those T1 and T2 PGens, it's not too much APM to select them all and click Ctrl K. You're not gonna need them anymore. And the extra mass, you can put it into a GC easily.
So the nuke just fired for me, and it's going after
Yeah.
SpeedyGonzales.
This is the over for Gonzalez, and he should have won this game. He had the eco for it, he just didn't really use it, and he didn't even try to attack on the right side. Well, at this point I don't really blame him, because they lost air, it's over, but yeah, he made some terrible mistakes and he paid for it. Yes, the nuke connects and it is over. So the biggest issues for McNeil, apart from AF King from point to point, I think the drop on the left side, you didn't commit enough for it. There was a huge reclaim field that you should have gotten from the left side. Yes,
Yeah,
and that
like
actually put you behind so much.
either commit more or don't commit at all. Like
Pretty
you can drop engineers there and steal the reclaim, but if you want to build factories, then make sure you drop more engineers and build more factories to actually hold it.
And the ACU upgrades were a little bit senseless, I think. Shield, gun, T2, that there's no synergy as you talked about. Not good.
And I do have to mention my favorite concept again, the production lead. So, you know, in this expansion, when you had these factories over there, then you had 2 factories, opponent had 3 factories, and this is actually time and a scale-based production lead, because the 2 factories that were for dark blue in the bottom left, they had started producing units way earlier because they were constructed way earlier, and the units could travel there and arrive, and as soon as those factories on the top left started producing units, blue's units were already there. So you could see this is a time-based production lead. But in addition, there's also a scale-based production lead, because blue added another factory over here, and it was 2 factories against 3 factories. And of course the 3 factories are going to win, and this is how you can clearly tell that you need to drop more engineers and commit more to this corner as soon as you scout those factories.
I wouldn't say it better myself, Helen.
Well, time and scale-based production lead, right? That's the key to win every game, and you just have to
Or
be
you just
able to
eco.
use it. Yeah, well, you can also just be Tokido and eco and beetle snipe everybody, but
Works every time.
that's
Works
probably
every time.
going to be a separate tutorial. Yeah, so again, less AFK and a bit more streamlined expansion commitment as well as ACU play. And try not to miss eco so much with empty power, empty mass, no build power, or then too much of everything or too much of one of the 3. So just try to micromanage your economy. Watch those bars on the top left corner, they're there for a reason, and respond to them flexibly.
And maybe a little minor comment here, gain a little more intel. In the beginning you didn't know there were units coming for you. You should have made a scout and maybe put it on patrol. You would have seen it coming. You could have built a PD.
Well, I guess the factories were scouted, and it's obvious that Dark Blue is going for this expansion. So, like, I'm not a huge fan of
Actually,
scouting too much. I prefer to read the mind of my opponent. But
yeah, I actually put this into the whole scouting thing, you know, because if you scout the factories and don't look there, I mean, it's like you didn't scout it at all.
well, okay, yeah, you actually have to look there, and the only proof that you look there is that you respond to it. So
exactly.
Yeah, must respond, McNeil. So
Anyway.
Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed this format of this dual replay review. First time we are doing this, so give us some room for error and improvement.
Yes, please.
And see you next time.
See you next time.